Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island Games Season 2, Episode 9.
I understand y'all missed the boards, and the board's going to be out of commission just for a little bit. I actually have the boards with me, but I don't want to mess up the camera angle. The next thing you know, I got to redo the video. It's just too much work. So if you had a board, Blair, what would it say?
Andrea, get your head in the game.
Get your head in the game, Andrea. If I had a board, it would say, just because it's hair, it doesn't have to be dyed. Okay. I think eyebrows are very important to the face. Mm-hmm. And just because you can dye it, doesn't mean you should dye it.
Okay.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this.
So they are cheering that Andrea and Johnny are staying, and they asked Andrea why she was on the ground. That did cross my mind. And she said basically she was overwhelmed, she was emotional, she was happy Johnny won. Question,
do you think how Andrea is acting is an act?
No, I don't.
There's some people that believe that she's following the Amaya Papaya type of route to where, you know what, I get to be this kind of goofy type of person and get the votes to endear me and things like that. I get to have this whole group of people that's basically see it as endearing. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? The fact that she's on the ground to the point where we got to actually point out and ask, why are you on the ground? I don't see it as endearing because I didn't see how Amaya Papaya was acting on season 7 was endearing. So if she is, I'm not going to say she is, but if she is going down that route, and if she is actually following that path, guess what? I'm going to be on your behind, Andrea, the same way as I was on Amaya's behind. So, sorry.
So Johnny is willing to motivate her to help her win competitions. Mm-hmm. And they have this conversation to where she's talking about she's tired of being a vulnerable couple. Mm-hmm. And he tells her you need to look at these girls like they're competition. Andrea says she can't do that.
Wow.
Maybe if she's in the moment, he's telling her, no, you just have to be that way. You have to size these girls up. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to instill the competitive spirit in her. And she tells him that her game plan is that he has a game plan and she just chills. So she starts trying to talk to him, talking about that she's actually there for the love. And he just shuts her up and starts kissing her.
You ain't talking about nothing. You ain't talking about nothing. Sometimes, you know what? For me to keep any attraction to you, let me just kiss you and constantly remind myself that, you know what, you look good. But once you start talking, you realize this is not Love Island. This is Love Island Games, right? Johnny is here for the money. He said he's tired of being here second place. He have no problem. Now, in my opinion, I think Johnny's a player. But at the end of the day, he is here to talk strategy and things like that. Andrea only want to talk about love and kind of come off as a lazy competitor in the sense of, you know what, my game plan is that you have a game plan. And Johnny's like, I don't know how much longer I can be with this person.
And that's the thing that kind of frustrates me with Andrea is because you were in this couple with Tyreek.
Yeah.
You really weren't that competitive and he was losing his attraction, his sights or whatever when it came to you. So I would just really would want her, even if she knows she's not a competitive person, play it up. Talk the talk. You know, just so that way you can keep Johnny on your side because he is such a strong competitor. Mm-hmm. If you have to tell him like, okay, I'm going to work on it, I'm going to try, whatever the case may be, but she's not even trying to lie. And I'm like, girl, lie to him if you have to.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't understand it. She's talking as if she haven't won any of these games. She may have lost that first one, but she won the one with Johnny where they had to take the ring through like the pole and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And even when they was doing the transferring the water with the tire, she wasn't last place. So you can be competitive when you want to and things of that nature. It just seems like she's choosing to be lazy more than she's actually lazy. You get what I'm saying?
So Marvin and Andrea talk. She's happy that she won, but it sucks that she beat her friend KK. Mm-hmm. Marvin likes that she's, a fierce competitor, but he also likes her romantically. They share some Spanish words together, mm-hmm. and it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
We go on to Jos and Justine. They're doing well in their challenges and they have chemistry.
Yeah.
She wants him to have his full experience. Just keep her in the loop as far as if there were any recouplings, just let me know who you really intend to be with. Mm-hmm. So he says that Andrea is going to Justine says Andrea is constantly going to get picked. She's a good competitor and Josh is aware of that. Mm-hmm. Justine does like Tyreek. He's putting in a lot of effort, but she knows that he's unserious and she will just be beside herself if she ends up being vulnerable because she picked Tyreek.
Yeah.
She is here for the money and not the love. They both like that they are, doing well as a couple and they're a strong couple. Yeah. But if Johnny wants to switch up, he tells her, I will let you know.
Yeah. In this moment, I was kind of confused by this conversation because I was like, Justine, your slip is slipping a little bit. right? Because why are we having this conversation again? We already talked about this, talking about, hey, we are going to be a competitive couple, but we go find love on the outside, right? It was in this moment where I was like, I think she's catching feelings for Josh a little bit, because she's encouraging him to, what's the word, explore if he wants to, just be upfront with me, while at the same time letting him know, well, I know you like Andrea, but she's going to be vulnerable almost every time because she's a strong competitor, so I don't know if you really want to be with her. That's how it kind of came off to me. How did it come off to you?
I think that she was just trying to gauge where he was at when it comes to their couple. And because they are so strong together, I honestly think that she was trying to lock in him saying that, we're good where we're at and we don't necessarily need to, even though we may have other romantic interests, but we're strong together. Maybe that's more than enough. And I think she was trying to walk him to kind of being in the same mindset of her when it came to that, but he's not quite there, and that's why he was saying, if anything changes, I'll let you know. But when it came to her side, she never really said she would switch up. Tyreek is unserious, and she was like, I just can't see it really pairing with him and being a strong couple, you know? And I think she was trying to show him being with Andrea probably won't suit you, when it comes to the competition.
You may not win the game.
Right.
You may get the love part, but you may not win the game. I don't think he will get the love part either. Right. But that's just me. Yeah.
So Tyreek and Johnny talk. Tyreek thinks Justine is sending mixed signals. Johnny tells him that he just needs somebody strong to compete with. But Tyreek does have his sights set on Justine. Yeah.
I think Johnny kind of, I don't want to say a shade, right? But if y'all go back to last episodes, I don't know which one did I say it in. I said Tyreek's right now at this point is all talk. We haven't seen him actually shine in any competition to this point. So for Johnny to say, you need someone strong, like in a couple, kind of in a way, in my opinion, to carry Tyreek as well. I don't think Tyreek is strong enough to carry the couple.
Right.
The same way as, that's why I think when Justine is basically saying Andrea's going to be vulnerable, that may be a caution for you. I think Josh in his head, he's like, I'm strong enough for both of us.
But I think what Justine was also saying is that Andrea is going to constantly be getting picked from the bombshells.
Yes.
Too. Like, you're not going to be safe there.
But I understand that. And I think Josh sees that as a challenge, right?
Oh, okay.
I see Josh sees that as, I don't care, I'm going to run through a brick wall for my lady.
Okay.
A little too early for that, in my opinion. But I think Johnny is also with the same mindset of, I'm going to have to be strong for me and Andreina. I don't think they view Tyreek as someone that could carry a team.
Right.
That's why I think Johnny's like, you need someone strong to basically help carry the load or to carry the load. That's why I think, truth be told, I don't think it's so much about the mixed signals, about the romantic side. I think he needs Justine to just to win.
To have a chance.
Yeah.
So Isaiah and Sydney are talking, and we know that they were a couple. They broke up, and pretty much she's a different person. He started maturing, and their relationship wasn't healthy at some points, and they were just too afraid to end things. But it was honestly a good conversation. It didn't seem like either of them were mad or still had animosity towards each other. So it was good that they could put that to bed.
Yeah, and and listen, I understand some people feel like Sydney is ugly. Her name's Sydney, right?
Yeah.
She's not ugly. Just that she dyed her eyebrows. That's all it is. And once the eyebrows get back to his regular color and things like that, she cool. Right? I
really thought she was gorgeous as a redhead. I thought that was a great color.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I guess it is a polarizing look. You rather love it or hate it. There's nothing in the middle. But I actually did enjoy this conversation because I was like, you know what, this was actually a good pushing basically moving on to the next chapter type of conversation.
Yeah. So Tyreek and Justine talk, and she says the romantic stuff is cute, but she didn't come here for that. Tyreek is here for the game, but with her by his side, it's going to turn the heat up for him to perform as well.
Yeah.
He still thinks she's beautiful, and they end up kissing.
Dude, you think Tyreek was proven right here where he's like, she's sending mixed signals?
I don't. And the only reason I don't is because, which may not be the right way to think about it, but I listen to what people say.
Okay.
So if you're telling me that you're here for the money and love is, on the back burner, but you're still kissing me, that the kiss doesn't to me, the kiss probably doesn't mean anything to you because love is not important to you. You know what I'm saying? So you can kiss, you can do whatever you want to do, but that's not like it's going to mean anything because you told me what you're here for.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that with Tyreek, I think he believes that he can do his charm and woo her and give her, you know, he's a good looking guy, give her the eyes and lick his lips and all that type of stuff. And, you know, thinks that he can get over her in the way that he might be able to do with some younger women. But she's 32, he's 27 or something like that. She's been around the Love Island's, you know, games and the show a few times now.
Okay.
He's not going to be able, I feel like, to make her fall for him so that way he can use her for the game. Like, it's just not going to work, you know?
I think this is the thing about them is that they are accusing each other of the things that they are doing to each other. They both doing the same thing to each other, right? Tyreek is trying to use Justine and things of that nature to win the game, right? Justine is trying to use Tyreek as basically a parachute when Josh decides to choose Andrea again.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I don't think neither of them are here for love, per se, but I do think the more that she kisses him and things of that nature, it does. I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it sends mixed signals to Tyreek, but I wouldn't be kissing Tyreek if you feel like he plays too much games, if you feel like he do all these things. I wouldn't play that game with Tyreek, me personally, if I was Justine. But to me, honestly, they both using each other, but they just not being honest about it.
Yeah.
You know?
So we get to Andrea and Josh. He sees how much she wants to be here and how she's willing to put friendships aside.
Yeah.
Andrea isn't really feeling things with Toby too much. She is in a couple with him, so she's trying to give it her best shot, but she still wants to get to know Josh. Josh tells her that he is in a good couple with Justine, but with Andrea, there's a romantic connection there, and he also realizes he'll never be safe in a couple with her because people keep choosing her, and they do end up kissing.
Yeah, and this kiss was kind of awkward to me. I ain't gonna hold you with the whole "you owe me a kiss" thing.
Yeah.
His feelings too strong for me. I have no problem with the competitive side of Josh. I have no problem with competition. I'm not like Josh in like the sense of psyching myself up, but when it's time to fight, I'm willing to fight. But when it comes to the romantic side, to him to be this invested in Andrea to where you barely, I don't even know if you ever shared a bed with her on the show yet. But it just seems like you're invested with someone romantically just a little too deeply, and I think that can cloud your judgment when it comes to the money. I'm not saying that it's bad that you come in here and find love, but I think in this moment, if he keeps going with Andrea, even though Justine kind of suggested it, I think Andrea may be a sinking ship. Not on her own accord, but if she have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and have to keep doing these duels and things of that nature, eventually you're going to lose one of them.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. And eventually you're going to get eliminated by just being attached to her. So that's why I'm like, I think he's letting love and the romantic side of Love Island games cloud his judgment when it comes to the money.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So Lucinda and Isaiah are on the dock.
Yeah.
He tells her the door is fully closed with Sydney, and he's pointing out that she's really looking at him more tonight instead of looking away. She's feeling him. They cuddle up and they start kissing. I will say, this felt like the first part of the episode felt very lovey-dovey, and I'm just like, this is sweet. Like, I like having some love in the Love Island games. Like, I felt the feels, and I thought this was cute.
Yeah, the way he was kissing, it looked like something was possessing him while he was kissing. I feel you, brother.
Nola and Marvin are talking in soul ties, and she thinks that she's probably a better competitor than Isaiah when it comes to the games. Marvin talks about how he's competitive and he thinks he can beat anyone. She tries to test his reflexes by throwing a pillow at him, which he did block, or it fell. I really couldn't tell what happened there.
Yes.
And he tells her he's been to Malta twice. That was a nice surprise for her, and she walked away from the conversation thinking she likes him.
Good for her.
We move on to Toby and Sydney on the dock. Sydney says that she and Isaiah got second in every challenge in their season, so she thinks that she could possibly lock in a win. Toby has put all his eggs in Andrea's basket. Andrea has her eggs in his and Josh's basket. So he's going to put some eggs in Sydney's basket as well.
Smart.
They've kissed before. They had a spark. They kiss again, and the spark is still there.
Nice.
Yes. So we move on to nighttime. Johnny says any girl can beat the next girl in a challenge is really how he feels about the competition between the women. But he thinks Andrea proved herself and Andreina flopped.
Listen here, man.
He's not lying.
He's not lying. He's not lying. But I think the thing about it is her flop seems there's more emphasis on the flop when there's no talk of trying to redeem yourself or even talking about the games or strategy.
There's no talk of trying, period.
No. So
she's like, you try and I chill. And I don't think that's the mindset he needs right now.
Exactly. So that's why it's not in the back of his mind that, hey, when it was the heartbreak challenge and things like that, they won. It's not in his mind that when they did the tire challenge with the water and things like that, they came like in third place or something like that amongst their group. So like I think to him, her flaws is just starting to stick out more because she's not leading with anything else, in my opinion.
Toby tells Tyreek that he kissed Sydney, and Tyreek tells Toby he kissed Justine.
Okay.
So we get to the next day. Marvin and Toby made breakfast for Andrea. Josh ended up making her some tea. Tyreek made Justine breakfast, and Marvin made Nicola breakfast.
Okay, nice.
Josh and Kendall talk, and Josh thinks that the floor is open for anybody with Chris and KK being gone because they, were a strong competitive couple. Kendall says that Toby and Tyreek have each other's back, and maybe Isaiah has their back since Chris didn't think Isaiah would put him in that position. Well, Josh says that if Justine couples up with Tyreek, then they will have a mutual ally. He has a connection with Andrea, but there's still something there with Justine as well.
Okay. So we talking a little strategy and things of that nature.
Tyreek has a conversation with Johnny saying that he can help Justine with her social game, and that's what he's been trying to tell her. Johnny said that it would be good to have her on their side, but Kendall can go. Tyreek thinks that they should target Josh because he's strong. However, Johnny says that Kendall is going to try to skate his way through this, and that is that scary, sneaky stuff that you don't want to keep around.
Have I been saying that since episode 1 of this whole
100%, and you're absolutely right. And I wanted him out from the jump too.
I understand that. We know where you stay with Kendall. Okay, what I've been saying is, I think Tyreek, for one, Tyreek is overselling his social skills on this game. I think he's a good talker, and I think he has the gift of gab, but I think that's all he got. You get what I'm saying? Justine has I think she has the vote. I think she has, people know who she is. She won last season, and then she came, and then she won her season, and things of that nature. So I think he's underestimating what type of pull Justine may have when it comes to social game, right?
Yeah, because she's actually doing a good job.
Her game may be good enough to where she may not need the social game to the level that Tyreek may have the gift of gab. But Johnny is 100% right about Kendall. You going to forget Kendall's there, and the next thing you know, he's going to be there in the end, and you're going to be like, I should have got rid of this guy. Yeah. And things of that nature. So that's why I'm like, I'm 100% with Johnny on this.
Now, Andrea, Justine, and Andrea are talking. Justine is friends with Josh outside of this, but now they're trying to see if there's something there. Andrea encourages them to give it a try since they aren't a couple, but Justine is still talking about how she's open to Tyreek as an option.
Okay.
Now we get to Toby and Isaiah. Toby, and I thought this was a really good conversation about strategy.
Help me.
Toby thanks Isaiah for not choosing him, but Toby tells Isaiah that we need a different strategy. We're not the gym bros. We're not the strongest guys in here. They talk about a few configurations with having Ty and Johnny or Ty and Josh, and Isaiah throws out Kendall's name. Toby can trust Isaiah, but he doesn't really trust Kendall. And Toby pretty much secured some type of final 2 arrangement with Isaiah. And the reason I thought this was interesting is because, like, we're talking alliances now.
Yeah. Oh, and big brother right here.
Yeah.
We're the big brother that y'all didn't watch that, like, y'all told us to review. We talking strategy now. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're talking alliances now. And I like the fact that they know where their weaknesses are. I think that it's crazy to go into this thinking that you're stronger and better than everyone and everything, and you don't really set yourself up for success. So why not get some of the strong guys on your team, on your side, so that when it comes to these competitions, you guys can protect each other until it's time to go head to head. So I mean, Toby is really thinking like a step ahead, and I do think that Kendall is not one to be trusted. I think I think for Love Island, you want to be friendly with everybody. You want to be nice to everybody. But with Love Island games, I think there is a benefit to knowing who really has your back. And with Kendall, you don't know whose back he really has. I think Kendall only has Kendall's back. And I think that's what Toby and Johnny are seeing as well.
Yeah.
So
I never see Kendall with just the guys. And if it's just the guys, it's guys of even a different country. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talking about Mert, right? Even with the heart rate challenge, you know, with his heart rate getting high for Lucinda and things like that. And just based off the Kendall that we've seen on TV and things like that, it's like we can't trust Kendall anything that he say. So I would definitely be like, Kendall is not to be trusted at all in any way. So them actually introducing alliances here is actually a unique twist that I was not expecting. And I like it. I actually want to see how far this can go and how it will look protecting each other, because I'm really interested in how that looks, because if both of y'all are vulnerable and neither y'all got the power to choose anything, then y'all really can't control anything. So that's why I think it probably helps to build a bigger alliance to where if one of y'all, somebody got to win between us or else we just suck, you know what I mean? So I'm really interested to see how that looks on Love Island games.
So they get a text and it is time for the first recoupling.
Help us.
And Kendall and Garby end up coupling up with each other. Andrea and Johnny do. Tyreek chooses Justine. Justine chooses Josh. So Tyreek ends up on the singles bench. Josh chose Andrea. Justine has to sit next to Tyreek on the singles bench, but he scoots all the way to the other side of the bench.
I thought that was funny.
Because he can't believe she did that to him. Andrea chose Josh, so they're coupled up. We've got Sydney and Toby, Marvin and Nicola, Lucinda and Isaiah. Any thoughts about that? And Josh and Tyreek, they're now a couple. Justine and Tyreek, sorry.
I didn't like Kendall's comment talking about it was dramatic. Stick to your couple, brother. You get what I'm saying? Because my thing about Kendall is because he's in the shadows, if he says it out loud, I don't know who can pick up on it, and somebody can agree with that without saying anything.
And run with it.
And run with it. You get what I'm saying? Tyreek, I think Tyreek had no choice but to choose Justine, because he already knew that he said out loud to the person he was coupled up with, I gotta get myself out this friendship couple. Yeah. So it was already,
he didn't have many options.
He didn't have no options, right? And that's my issue with Tyreek. For someone who talks a big game and basically have the gift of gab and basically saying, hey, it will actually benefit you to be with me, you have no options. Like you literally have no options. Now, do I feel like in some way, I felt like Josh should have stayed with Justine, right? I feel like in some way, Justine did right by picking Josh, because until proven otherwise, I think they should have stayed together. But other than that, I really have no problem with what each person said, because it's like it was common sense that Josh was going to pick Andrea. I wish he just would have stayed with Justine, but it was common sense that, you know what, Justine was going to pick Josh and Tyreek was going to pick Justine.
Yeah. I did feel like what Tyreek did was childish.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I expect that from Tyreek. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't really rub me the wrong way, because I don't think he's shown himself to appear to be serious. That's why none of the girls, even when he was talking to KK, were just like, I don't know if I want to put my eggs in Tyreek's basket, because he's for everybody, essentially. Yeah. And I think that Tyreek's, the gift of gab or the charm that he has, probably worked on Love Island, because love was the primary focus. Yeah. And I think that he could use his skills and his appearance to kind of hook the ladies in. But I think for this game, there's too much on the line for somebody to trust somebody who comes across as a player, you know, who comes across and has been vocal about, if you're not performing, I'm switching up on you. And you've done that with a couple of people so far and been vocal about it. So it puts you in a position to where people aren't feeling like they can trust you. And I think that's kind of what his downfall is right now. Yeah. So we get to the couples challenge, and it is called baby birding. Disgusting. Yeah. So there's 2 rounds. The first round, the boys pick up this chum, fill it into the girl's mouth. The girls have to transfer the goo into this bowl of whichever couple they want to target. So the first round, Josh and Andrea had the most chum in their bowl. It seemed like Marvin was targeting both Josh and Kendall. Round 2, the girls, do it to the guys. Josh went into Isaiah's bowl a couple of times, and Isaiah started gunning for Josh after he saw that. Apparently, Garby kept going to Lucinda and Isaiah's bowl, and Kendall is asking her, well, why would you do that, after they confront them after the game? And Garby tries to say it wasn't on purpose.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was kind of watching with my eyes, kind of like how Isaiah was kissing. Yeah. You know, like a little bit of this. I can't watch that type of stuff. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's not in me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
So we get to Isaiah and Lucinda's conversation, and they were kind of doing everybody once or twice, but when Isaiah saw Kendall, Marvin, and Josh against them, he started going for them.
Yeah.
Lucinda thinks Garby's friendliness is an act now since they came for them, and Isaiah said, yeah, that's just like Kendall, to be honest. They're over there plotting more than they're working on their own relationship.
Start right there. Now, you see what happened, Garby? Now we got to get you out. Now you got some of the stink on you. Now people view you and Kendall as the same because now you starting to pick up on, or at least people are starting to think that you're picking up on his traits and things of that
not
nature
being genuine
and not being genuine. So now guess what? I have to agree with them because it you telling me it wasn't on purpose, then then tell me what it was then.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, don't play stupid.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was a reason, or even if you wanted to make up a reason on the spot and just be like, you guys didn't have much in there, and so I was just going for whatever was closest or whatever the case may be. But to sit up and be like, I don't know. Like, I mean, wasn't everybody just spitting everywhere? And it's just like, no, there was a reason and a strategy, but I did not like Kendall looking at her like she did something wrong when he was actually going for their bowl too. Like, that's that weird stuff we talking about with Kendall.
Listen, we know Kendall's going to throw rocks and hide his hands.
Yeah.
But what he said, it is facts though. Like, it is, you got to be strategic who you gun for and things like that. Kendall don't want to go head to head with nobody anytime earlier than he have to.
Right.
So he's trying to basically process of elimination, like everybody eliminate themselves, and then probably have one duel throughout the whole season to where he can actually put forth his best effort, and then it'd be 50-50. But he's not trying to be in anybody line of sight anytime earlier than he have to be.
So Garby and Kendall are talking. She doesn't know why she did what she did, but she's not mad that people were gunning for them because it's just a game.
Yeah.
Kendall tells her it's strategic who you gun for, and he plans to talk to Lucinda and Isaiah to make amends because they don't want to lose friends in here. Essentially, we don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers and have the target on us.
That's fair.
We get to Johnny and Andrea, and she doesn't really want to be power couple, but he's fine with it. He doesn't mind hurting people's feelings. He knows that Andrea relies on his confidence a lot, but ideally he would have someone on his side who was confident in the challenges.
Listen here, man. Like, I know some people had a problem.
Did they reveal who was the power couple?
My eyes were closed majority of the time.
Okay.
While I was
we'll know for sure next episode.
Right? My eyes were closed majority of the time while watching this joint. But this is what I was talking about with Andrea and things of that nature. I already apologized to y'all last episode for saying that she was a baddie. Listen here. Some people may agree that she still is a baddie because there's different types of baddies. And I'm just trying to let y'all know she's not a baddie. Johnny is over here basically talking about, hey, you're relying on my confidence. You talk about you don't want to be a power couple. So if you're not confident in competitions and you don't want to be a power couple, so you want to be vulnerable?
You just want to ride the middle.
But there's no middle. There's only one other option. That is you are vulnerable.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so we see what happens when you are vulnerable. You cry. So it's like it doesn't. So that's why I'm like, it doesn't serve her to move this route and how she's currently moving on Love Island games, in my opinion.
Now, Andrea and Josh talk. They expected people to target them because they have been winning. But Josh is wondering if Tyreek was the ringleader for people coming at them. And I will say, Josh, I don't think it's fair to pin it on one person.
Yeah.
You guys have a target on your back. You guys have probably done the most challenges out of everybody else. And to me, it doesn't make sense to try to blame Tyreek for it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like you're still reeling off of like the first competition or whatever.
Yeah, it's a straw man argument. He's trying to point his aggression and just trying to blame somebody that's not there. He's blaming ghosts right now.
Yeah. So Tyreek and Justine talk. He can deal with the rejection, but he doesn't like being left in the dark. She talks about how before they were still just kind of trying to build trust, but Tyreek shuts it all down. No cuddling, no breakfast, nothing. We're just going to talk strategy from here on out. And Justine just takes it on the chin.
Okay. Sure. We talk strategy.
Yeah. Tyreek is just mad and embarrassed that she didn't choose him, and his ego is bruised because I think he's used to getting whatever girl he wants, and he's having an unusual experience this season,
I don't even know if he's used to getting because Tyreek kind of reminds me of like, there's always like a boy group. I really don't know how it is with girls group, but like within a guy's friends group, you can always count on these type of personalities or even these physical attributes. You always got the tall guy, you always got the shortest guy, but then you always got the guy that always get girls. You always got the guy who thinks he always get girls, but he really never gets them. I think that's who Tyreek is. Well, I think Tyreek is the type of guy to where, like, you know what, he may have get some girls, but I think he overshoots what he truly always get and things like that. And that's why he feels like he could just walk by and just say, hey, I want to be with you, so that should make you want to be with me because I want to be with you. I think he's overshooting his hand. And he comes off as the type of person that does that a lot and things like that.
Well, I guess my question I want to ask you is because there has been discourse about the fact that maybe the women in the UK that are into him are, you know, a lot of, like, you know, white girls who are into, like...
Oh, that's true. That's true. I totally forgot that he's in the UK.
Yeah, that are into, like, the black guys, but they only want a particular type of black guy or a particular tone of black guy. Or, you know, the people, like, want a certain aesthetic, and Tyreek fits that aesthetic in the UK, but in the USA there's so many Tyreeks. Yeah. So he can't phase the women the same way that he might be able to phase them in the UK.
And that's 100% fair. You're right there. And I think
I saw somebody say like everyone has met a Tyreek in middle school or high school. Like,
but the thing about it is you only meet those guys in high school. They don't really do well in college. They don't really do well outside of being in some type of like closed environment in that way. So. And truth be told, I think Andrea is suffering from that as well. I think from people from her culture, maybe where she's from, I think because of the English language and things like that, especially how you learn it, because you have some people that be like, I learned it off of YouTube. I learned it off of watching reality TV. And then with you learning the language, you kind of pick up on a personality that's not really...
Oh, that goes along with how you learn it.
So now,
and it's not really your real
personality. So now you have split personalities based on whatever language you're speaking. You get what I'm saying? And I can kind of see that with Andrea. I can see with how she speaks in the English language, there's a kind of a different personality that I may see with her regular, with like the language that she was born with. So I think that is a fair point with Tyreek, to where with Justine, she's like, I'm American. Like,
you don't impress
me.
me.
like not in the least of the only way that Tyreek can the only way Tyreek can be Tyreek is if he's Johnny. And that means he have to be a strong competitor, he have to be good looking, and he have to have the gift of gab. He only have one of those things. And in America, the gift of gab is not something that's unique. Right. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the UK, to where maybe they may like his fair black skin or something like that, and they may just like his confidence, because it may look like confidence in the UK compared to here. It just look like you talk too much. You get what I'm saying? So who knows?
Yeah. So we get to nighttime. Isaiah calls about he's talking about Kendall and Josh for coming at him. So he calls them out about it. Kendall tells Isaiah that he didn't put anything in his bowl. And Isaiah said, "You're lying. I saw you go to my bowl." And Josh said that he didn't start it, but he finished it. And that's the stuff with Kendall.
And that's my problem.
It's like, we know you're lying.
Why didn't you apologize?
Exactly. Like, we know you're lying. Like, why do you want to sit up here and lie to people's faces? Accept it. Take accountability and move on. You would get more people on your side by that, but you want to be a snake.
And that's why I bang with Josh answer right here. He basically like, look, I ain't started, but I see that y'all was doing it to me, so guess what? I'm gonna do it to y'all. And basically taking it on the chin of, if y'all feel like y'all want to come for me, it is what it is. But Kendall trying to do this whole like it wasn't us, it wasn't me.
Yeah, like we're just your
being
friends.
A coward. Yeah,
right. Johnny says that his conversations with Andrea are feeling draining.
Oh my God.
It's not stimulating to him. They're over here talking about, well, maybe, it's a 70-30 relationship or 80-20 or whatever. And he's like, I just want a 50-50 partnership. Like, where is she even at? Ooh.
What is your thoughts on that?
I feel Johnny on that, because he's sitting here trying to encourage her and she's telling him, don't encourage me. Encourage yourself, because you're the one who's going to win this quest.
Pretty much.
Any thoughts?
Here's the thing about it.
It is crazy.
No.
I would be frustrated too.
No, I am frustrated. I'm frustrated, and I'm not even there, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to believe this is an act, right? Here's the thing, right? A lot of people going to feel like, Blair, you coming for Andrea because you're not a baddie like Andrea. People feel like Chris. People like you, Chris, or people that look like you, Chris, want to bring down girls' beauties because you ugly. And I'm just like, that's not what, like, do you hear her talk?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, she is not offering anything that's stimulating. And here's the thing that's crazy about that. Johnny doesn't come off as some type of genius type of guy. He come off as a regular guy trying to have regular conversations, and he's like, I can't even have regular conversations with the girl. We're here for Love Island, and I have to kiss her to stop her from talking.
That is
because literally, and it wasn't. Okay, people can view that as that's rude, like she's talking, but she has proven herself with the 5 sentences before he cut her off to kiss her that she wasn't talking about anything. You get what I'm saying? So it's not stimulating, it's not making him want to be with her, and it just shows that, you know what, beauty is not enough. You gotta give me something else. So when I'm over here talking about strategy, you say, I don't want to talk about strategy. The strategy is you be the strategy.
Exactly.
He's like, okay. Also, just have some more confidence in the. Why, Johnny? I don't want to have confidence. Okay. I thought you was going home and I was sad. It is like, I don't want to keep having these conversations. And then eventually, Johnny is going to be like, you know what? I need to find somebody else.
Yeah.
And he will.
Yeah. So Tyreek says that Justine has no feelings. She is a machine. He is thinking about opening up, doing the lovey-dovey thing. The minute. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's start over because I wrote that in the wrong place.
Okay, help me.
So Tyreek and Toby have a conversation.
Okay.
Tyreek doesn't know what to do with Justine. He doesn't know if he should say just F her and be for self. And Toby says, honestly, like I could see that y'all's personalities were going to clash. And Tyreek says that all she wants to do is play the game. But he's thinking about opening up, doing the lovey-dovey thing. The minute somebody else comes in, kicking her to the curb, just go savage and play her for a fool. He says, I could be mature, but I don't really like being mature. And he says karma's a B.
Listen here.
So Tyreek is about to be in his villain bag.
Yeah.
And look,
the mask is off.
I don't want it to happen to Justine, but I'm curious to see it. I'm not going to lie. But I don't want Justine to fall for it. And I think that she has enough sense not to. I really do. I hope she does. But I want to see him try his best.
Here's the thing. I just don't think Justine says she's only here for the games. I don't know how true that is, right? I think it's true enough to where it may be 60-40 or it may be 55-45 maybe. But I think she do want love. I don't think she want love from Tyreek though. I really think she likes Josh.
Yeah,
right?
I think she takes him more seriously.
Yeah, I think she really likes Josh, but at the same time, I think she's going to eventually start detaching from Josh because there's only a certain amount of times you're going to chase after somebody that's chasing after somebody else.
Right.
I hope in the process of losing the person that she may really like, she don't open herself up to Tyreek, right? Because here's the thing about it, right? Justine is not a machine. Right, she has emotions and things like that. She's not Alexia. You get what I'm saying? Or how do you say Alexa? There we go.
Okay. I
actually said Alexia.
I was just like, yeah, she's not her.
Am I Spanish?
Whoever that is.
Whoever that is, right? She's not Chat GPT and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
She's a person with emotions. The thing about it is, Tyreek, you're a liar, and I don't think he understands that in America there's a whole bunch of liars. We have politicians who are liars. We have people in our churches who are liars. People who are in our schools are liars. So that's what I'm saying. Tyreek is not so unique.
Right.
Here's the thing about it. I do want to see his villain bag just to see what it looks like because I did not see his season of Love Island. So when everybody's talking about Tyreek as a villain, I'm like, I kind of want to see it because so far he just been laying back. It just been like, making jokes and making sly remarks. I want to see what it looks like when he is trying to be lovey-dovey and doing all this stuff.
Fully activated.
Just to flip it. He said the minute somebody come in, a bombshell come in, I'm going over to them. And I'm just like, that may work for you to basically get back at Justine, but at the end of the day, to his point, or to my point rather, that doesn't help you get the money because at the end of the day, if you're not a strong competitor, nobody want to be with you.
Right.
So,
and if you keep flipping on every girl you're with, nobody wants to take that chance on you.
Exactly. So I'm very interested in see how that's going to look.
Yeah. So we get to Justine and Josh, and they're just checking in to make sure each other's good. She's good. She's taking a lot of hits from Tyreek. Josh feels like he's been transparent with Justine, and she doesn't agree because you said you were happy in our couple.
Yeah.
He said he was happy, but he was still wanting to pursue Andrea. But Justine says, you never told me you were going to pick Andrea before the recoupling. And Josh says, look, he wasn't trying to be unclear with her. Like, he considers her to be somebody on his side, and that's really why he's having this conversation, to make sure that they have each other's back. And she tells him it's no hard feelings, everything's fine, and I don't believe her. I don't believe her. I don't think that she's going to necessarily come for him, but I think say there's a vote for whoever gets to stay, Josh, I don't think you have a vote in Justine.
Oh no, I actually think I think you're right, but I think you landed on the wrong person. I think she's gonna get Andrea out.
Okay.
I think she's gonna get Andrea out. This is just what Josh did is semantics with a side of what? Lies, right? He's trying to say, look, like you said that you was happy where you was. This is what Justine was saying, right? He said, yeah, I was happy, but I was still pursuing Andrea. He's not lying, but at the same time, he wasn't as fully transparent. Right?
But I will say that the recoupling happened so quick. And there wouldn't have been any time.
And that's the bail out of jail I'm giving him, right? Even though I feel like he did not, because at the same time, they did not know the recoupling was happening. Even though he did make it clear that he was after Andrea, but he also made it clear that he's happy with this being a competitive couple in the sense of we can just be a competitive couple that go for the money and I can do love on the side. What you did with recoupling Andrea is you put going for love on the same level as going for the money.
Right.
And in a way, that kind of leaves me in the dark in some way, right? So that's why I think he did a little bit of semantics with a side of lies. I don't see it so much as a betrayal, but I think the reason why, truth be told, outside of Justine maybe catching feelings for Josh, I think she realized that, dang, Josh was probably my best opportunity to get this money.
Yeah.
And now I'm stuck with Tyreek, and he haven't proven anything but to talk a game, but I haven't seen his game.
That's true.
And I think it's really 50-50 on literally equal or why she feels the way she feels. I think she feels 50% because she may have been catching some feelings with Josh, and 50% of like, I lost literally the best, probably the male competitor outside of Johnny maybe, and I think Josh may could take Johnny in like some factor.
I think it would be a really tough duel.
I think
if
Josh,
they went head to head.
I think Josh would psych himself out. Like I think smelling salts and all. I think he's going to hit a level of psycho that Johnny just can't hit. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
So like I think she's feeling the weight of the loss of $250,000 and potentially a love interest that she was potentially catching feelings for.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
How did you feel about all the girls being in the makeup room and Andreina's over there talking about, Johnny, he hoes me and he cuddles me and he do all this stuff for me, and that's when Justine was like, Johnny do that with every girl he's with.
Oh, I must not have been listening when they were doing all that. Yeah, I don't really think nothing much of it. Andreina's going to see that Johnny's here to win.
Yes.
I think that she's going to get her feelings hurt, unfortunately.
There's only one option, maybe two options. No, there's only one option that I want right now. I actually, as much as I talk about Andreina, I actually want her to make it to the end, right? I want her and Johnny to be a couple at the end, and hopefully they get the option to split the money, and I hope Johnny don't split the money.
Well, it's not she earned it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I need some type of like, I'm tired of everybody with the option to split it or keep it. They be like, yeah, we split it. I need somebody to be like, well, the game plan was for me to win all the games, so I'm going to keep the money, and our relationship is over. Okay? That would be the best ending to Love Island games for me, because at the end of the day, we want to see something different besides people giving this basically like, oh yeah, we're going to split the money. No. If Johnny doing all the work, Johnny should keep all the money, in my opinion. Okay. That's how I feel. Anything else?
That's it.
We need to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all next time.
Bye.